it is 6:05. We're going to call this meeting to order. If I can have everyone rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, are there any changes to the agenda?
We have one, Mayor. We're requesting to pull item 6.1 and bring that back on February 19th.
All right. Any changes from council? Seeing none, can I get the council's approval for the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda for February 5th, 2026.
Approve.
We need a second.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. All those opposed? None? Agenda is approved. Going to move on to item number 2, awards, presentations, appointments, and proclamations. 2.1 is going to be a proclamation, Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month.
And I think we have a couple of members, Tiffany and Jessica, are here to receive that proclamation.
Excellent.
Oh.
All right, let me read it to you first. And then I'll
Perfect.
have time to speak. Hello? All right. All right. Proclamation by the Mayor of the City of Coalinga, Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. Whereas each year, an estimated 1 in 3 teens is physically, emotionally, or verbally abused by a dating partner, and whereas survivors of teen dating violence have increased risk of truancy, dropout, teen pregnancy, suicide, developing eating disorders, and engaging in other harmful behaviors such as the use of alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. And whereas college students experience unique relationship dynamics during a critical period of independence and identity development, and research shows that dating violence, sexual violence, and stalking occur at disproportionately high rates among college-age individuals, impacting students' academic success, mental health, and overall well-being. Underscoring the importance of empowering students to recognize unhealthy or abusive behaviors and seek to support to foster safer campuses and communities. Whereas parents and guardians are encouraged to speak to their teens about healthy relationships, boundaries, and dangers of teen dating violence, and whereas each February, the formal recognition of Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month allows community to acknowledge and show their support for survivors and advocates to end the cycle of abuse through education, and where Orange Day, February 10th, is a national day dedicated to raising awareness on teen dating violence, to supporting survivors, and to preventing abuse before it starts. And whereas a partnership with schools across Fresno County emerged to directly confront this crisis are achieving success. The Marjorie Mason Center, along with its No More peer educators, are helping in the effort to prevent and end teen dating violence. We must recognize the compassion and dedication of these professionals and students across Fresno County high schools and middle schools and increase public understanding of this important problem. Now, therefore, it be resolved by the Mayor and the City of Coalinga that we do hereby proclaim the month of February as Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, and urge all citizens of Fresno to work together to end the cycle of violence in our community. In witness hereof, I have set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Coalinga to be affixed to this 5th day of February 2026. Thank you very much. And I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much for this proclamation. My name is Jessica. I'm the Prevention Education Manager at the Marjorie Mason Center. I oversee the No More program, which is a trademarked program of the Marjorie Mason Center. We go into schools to educate students about healthy relationships. I've been privileged enough to be in the Coalinga-Huron Unified School Districts for now. This is our second year. We have a great partnership with them, educating students, equipping their toolkits to have healthy relationships. But unfortunately, we do see unhealthy relationships. As a former teacher, it's very, I saw it very frequently with my students. And so spreading awareness is important, educating parents is important, having those difficult conversations with them, but shedding a light so that they feel comfortable talking to their parent or guardian or teacher or friend. We appreciate this continued partnership in the city of Coalinga for honoring this month, and we encourage you to wear orange on the 10th. I did not choose the color, it's the national color. And we have little ribbons for you, but I'll let Tiffany say a few words before I pass those out.
On behalf of Marjorie Mason Center, I'm the crisis response manager, so I unfortunately get the aftermath. And so having a piece of No More program going out educating and trying to help with prevention, I'm hoping that will put me out of a job in the future. So on behalf of everybody underneath me and my team, I just want to say thank you for giving us this opportunity to come, not only to be into your schools, but also the future partnership that we will have with law enforcement.
Can I pass out the ribbons?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Oh, yes. Can we grab a picture too?
Yeah, and we just want to thank you for coming, and thanks for all the work, the hard work you're doing. And do you have a second if we had questions from the council? You guys could, yeah? Any questions from council?
I don't have any questions. I just want to say thank you, father of 3 daughters. I think it's really important, education and awareness. Just thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got 3 daughters too, so that's amazing what you guys are doing, so.
Thank you.
I only have one, but she's a handful. Thank you.
I second that. I have one as well. And, you know, the work you do echoes across the city and the county, and it's going to make us safer. And we very much appreciate that. While we're waiting for them to hand out things, can we give them a round of applause?
You want to hold this? The ribbons? Yeah. To appeal to the younger demographic.
All right. We are going to move on to item number 2.2, presentation from Community Garden, Alma Sanchez.
Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm very pleased to present an overview of the community garden, the progress since transitioning to a nonprofit organization last June. In addition to sharing our journey over the past several months, we would like to outline our vision to the future of the garden and its continued impact on the community. So we're going to show you some pictures. Those beautiful plants, the person that's sitting there, he made the plants as a gift to the garden. They both participate too in the garden with all the measurements. We have 41 beds. We have different size of beds too.
Are you looking for the next slide or the next page? Yeah. I think he's working on it.
There's 3 different, okay, that's a picture. As you can see, we need a new door that we already got from a grant that we're in the process of buying a new one. This is the way the garden was. It was very sad. But I've been having a very good crew. The ladies that they come from, they're from the Kalinga Huron, what is it, Pati? Engagement Center. And they come and they work very hard. They also bring their children, and then sometimes we have breakfast there on Saturday mornings. We have wheat, but it's almost, after all that hard work that we all been doing, we had a few crops. We're trying to make our own seeds to save money. This is the way, you know, a few months after. That's part of what the crops that we had this year. We had very good cucumbers and different things. That's the plan again. The next one is going to show what we have for the future. Okay, that's our, we put it in Spanish, misión. That's our mission. It's to provide a natural garden setting for people with limited access to land and other resources to grow food and ornamental plants using the organic methods. We connect with partners, provide education, and share the resources in order to increase the community food security. We're improving access to healthy food while protecting and improving the quality of our open space resources. We also, in our mission is to beautify the city with environmentally appropriate planning and thereby strengthen the community involvement. Now those are the pictures the way it is now. We have beautiful kale and cilantro, and we still have a few things. Those are the ones that survived the frost. Our coming projects is the automated drip irrigation system, what we already have a grant for. and we're going to install it, probably this month. And we also want to introduce the hydroponics, because my friend here too, she's specializing in that, and she's part of the garden, and we're gonna try to introduce the hydroponics. We already had things like that with projects with kids, and for ourselves, we're educating. And then we have partnerships already. We want to have more partnerships with the schools. We're partner with the library, and we're open to partner with anything else that comes our path. So that's the future of the community garden. Would you like to
Thank
say
you. Did you want to bring up some of your people and introduce them?
Go. Do you want to
Okay.
say something?
I'd like the community to know that the garden is accessible. Open the gate, come in, have a seat, bring your lunch, bring your dinner, any time of the day, have a seat, get under the shade. It's open to the public. We want you to come, even if you don't have to do anything, you just sit there and enjoy the scene.
Yeah, and I'd like to say, my name is Steve Gillen. I'd like to say that the garden is not just about gardening, it's about community and bringing people together over learning new ways to cultivate what we have out here in this Zone 9, and learning new ways, recipes and stuff like that. And that strengthens our community, and it crosses all barriers of ethnicity and socioeconomics. And I think that's a good thing for our community, because we are a rural community.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Gabler, and I am a doctoral student doing my research in mental health. And I'm here to support Alma and the crew in regards to the garden being a very integral part of this community for its mental health, to alleviate stress and depression and anxiety. There's been many studies and research studies that I've seen. I don't have them in front of me to cite, but there's a lot of backing in regards to horticulture therapy. And this would be a wonderful opportunity for the future to grow into for the community, basically because there's a lack of professionals in the area for mental health. And I think that would be a positive and uplifting approach into growing into helping children and elderly as well as middle-aged individuals in this society, in this city. So that's what I have to say.
I'm very proud to be part of this. And as you can see, we have good plans, and I want to thank all the people that helps me. Steve helped me to fill out all my forms for the nonprofit. He did the plans for me. She's gonna bring the hydroponics. And Tom works very hard too. And we're also in the process of getting a very nice shade area. So I just wanna say thank you for the opportunity so I can give you my ideas.
Are you open for questions?
Sure.
Yeah? Council have questions?
I don't have any questions, but I do have a comment. When that first got started, I did a lot of soil sampling and donated a lot for that analysis and recommendations for amendments. But as an ag science major and as a PCA for the state of California and a senior agronomist for a fertilizer and chemical company, I applaud you guys for such work. I noted everything that you said, and I think I'll be connecting with you guys. Maybe I can support you in the future, and I really enjoy seeing you guys having those sustainable management practices in play, and I think it's wonderful what you're doing for the community, because I think we are what we eat, so.
Thank you very
applaud you
much.
guys
I
for that.
appreciate that, because we're really gonna need some help. We want to see how the soil is, so we can have better crops and everything. We would love to have you.
Absolutely, thank you.
You're welcome.
Where can people get information for volunteering, kind of so they're not button heads moving in? I have a family member that would be very interested in helping, spending some time for projects. Just also reaching out to the schools. Are you starting any like gardening clubs or anything like that? Getting information out there to get the kids involved?
We already have a class that comes. It's the continuation school, the high school. Sixth period, they're coming over. We gave them their own beds, and they're cleaning it, and they're doing everything. So I hope that we'll be partnering a little bit more with more schools. And I work at the library full-time, but we always meet on Saturdays. During the winter, we were meeting from 10 to 1, but now that the weather's getting better, we'll be there earlier, every Saturday. And they can go and ask, even at the library, I don't see any problem.
If you're able to, can you give us some information, email us, so we have stuff to send out, let people know, so we can let them know about your schedule and update everybody?
Very good. Yes, I can do that.
I don't have any questions, but thank you guys for what you're doing. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So obviously, I remember when the garden started, and there was a lot of donations from the cannabis companies, and it flourished. And then a lot of those people moved on, and then Alma moved next door and kind of took on that project, which was a large project to keep moving, and got it to a point to where she needed a lot of help, and made your nonprofit, and you've got your board of directors on your nonprofit, and you've already applied for grants, correct?
Yes.
You got one from the Coalinga Regional, and you know, I wish you the best of luck on this project. It's near and dear to me because I helped the original phases with that, breaking sweat and tears out there, digging dirt, laying down, and to watch it degrade was sad, but to watch you guys bring it back is really cool. And because of that, I know how much work is involved, and it seems like you guys have expanded on everything that we did, and I'm super proud that you've all taken the initiative to do that, and that's a great thing for the city. And I echo everything that you have already stated about the community stewardship and about bringing in stakeholders and how this will have, I think, a great effect on our citizens. And you know, also, if you have information you guys could share with us, or get to the city, that way we could pass it out for those that are interested. I'm sure there's a lot of people that would be interested in helping and being involved.
We would love to have see more of the community get involved in everything. And in honor of the people that started that, I did not change the name, because that's the initial name that they wanted for that. And I could have just changed the name, but I'm not going to do it because I'm very grateful for that people that started that.
Thank you very much. Can we give a round of applause? Appreciate you guys. All right, we're gonna move on to item 2.3, Public Outreach Efforts Presentation, Yesenia Medina, Public Outreach Coordinator.
Evening. I think I see it here. Thank you, Robert. My name is Yesenia Medina. I'm the Public Outreach Coordinator for the City of Coalinga. I'm new to the team. I just recently joined, so I'm here to discuss some of our outreach programs, the efforts that we're putting in, and some future projects that we have lined up. I want to first thank everyone for coming today, those watching at home, and for you guys being interested in my work. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Maybe it works. Oh, there it goes. All right, so we are gonna start off with social media. Social media is a big aspect of what I do every single day, so we are gonna start off with my biggest platform that we offer. Now, I did inherit this platform, so the followers that I already had on it was pre-existing, so we are going to continue off of where I started to where we are now. So you can kind of see the progress and where that outreach has really moved and where that effort has been put into. I have also located up there a QR code. So if you are not already following our Facebook page, you can pull out your phone, one click, and it's really easy to follow us. You can get information, updates, and really important news and exciting news that are up and coming. So we are going to start off by looking at these graphs. I hope you guys are excited to see some numbers like I am. So our Facebook page did start off with a total of 3,900 about the time that I joined, okay? A pretty decent chunk already for our population. Since that time now, as you can see, it has increased a bit. We are now at 4,190 followers. So we do have a few extra hundred within just about the 2 months that we've been expanding outreach. Now, I do want to explain the difference between viewers and our views themselves, which we'll be covering next. Now, the content that we post on Facebook has a various amount of analytics that go into it, right? So we are going to be describing the most at first, the most important ones, which are going to be our views, okay? So the views per content. The difference between views and viewers, our viewers are one single account that views either our page or our content. Viewers, or views in general, are just the amount of views that was seen. So if you click on it once, you go back to it again, that counts as 2 views. However, the viewers is still only one person viewing our account. So if you see that very large number up there with our content views, that's gonna be at 620,619. Okay, so that's the amount of views over all of our contents that we are receiving. The interactions are going to be the reactions, the likes, the shares, or we do limit the comments, so very limited comments on there. However, if you can see, we do have a large number of reactions. People do react to our content, so that number is 3,517. As you can see, it is quite a few reactions, most of all, out of all the reactions that we have, versus the shares and the comments. So people are really, really comfortable to leave a heart, to leave a haha, to leave even like an angry face. However, the shares, and then the shares from there are a little bit more limited. All right, now that we know who our viewers are, what views are, we are now going to cover the exact media that receives attention from our residents, right? Because we want to see what our residents are interested in receiving from the city and the things that they like to receive from the city. So we're going to start off with our low engagement first. This means not a lot of likes, not a lot of views, not a lot of shares, okay? So the first one that we're going to cover is our weather signs. So these are going to be reminders for sandbags when it rains to avoid flooding. You'd be surprised, but we only have 2,156 views on notices and important announcements that our residents are engaging with. After that, the low interactions that we get are going to be based on just announcements. So things like closed signs, calendar events, or changes. They receive anywhere between 2,000 and 3,000 views. You would think that this information would be something that catches people's attention more, but you'll notice later on with our high engagement, the things that do receive attention from our residents. So that high engagement that we have, one of our most popular posts on Facebook, because Facebook again is where we get our numbers from, is gonna be our announcement of the Ross department store that plans on taking its place where the Rite Aid location was previously. That post received 53,626 views. So again, every time you share, every time someone clicks on a link to a share, that counts as a new view. It does not count as a viewer. So again, you look at it 5 times a day, that's gonna count to those views that we offer on there. Immediately after that are going to be our press releases from our police department. Those are consistently one of the highest views that we receive on any of our content, and that actually follows on all platforms. We're only talking about Facebook now because it is our biggest domain, but those police release statements can receive anywhere between 20 to 30,000 views. And they are shared, and people are interacting with them. They don't count towards our analytics, but I do see those reviews that people are posting or any comments or shares that do happen. Oh, there it goes. All right, we are now moving on to our Instagram. Again, that QR code is out there. If you are at home or in the audience, you're not following us, it'd be a really good idea and really easy to join us. We do have our followers located on the right there. It's a little bit hard to see, but we are currently at 177 followers for the city on Instagram. Now this, again, a new platform. So only within the last few months have we exposed this and been promoting. So it is a pretty good amount for the short time that we've had the account. Ooh. There it goes. Thank you, Robert. So now we're gonna review our views and our top content. So again, views are the entire page, every single content that we have, who's looking and how many that we have. So that's gonna be 9,294 views over all our contents. And as you can see, we have those top contents displayed at the bottom. On those contents that are located there at the bottom, they are going to be our employee appreciation party. So that is a recent post. So within the last few days, we have received 760 views. Now the really cool thing about Instagram is it also lets me know how many accounts it reaches. This does not mean that they follow, does not mean that they like, comment, or anything. It just means that someone new is looking at my content or looking at my page. Within that post, I received 324 new people just looking. So whether they stay or not, they are seeing and receiving some of this information that is going out on our platforms. And again, immediately afterwards is gonna be our announcement of the Ross department store. That's gonna be at 485 views, and it reached 38 new profiles. After that is gonna be another press release from the police department at 461 views and reached 124 new accounts. Now, on the follower activity, another thing I really like about Instagram, which I'm checking every single day, is gonna be the most times that my followers on Instagram are engaging on Instagram. So I did set this for you guys today on Thursday. So that would be today. The highest times that people are on Instagram looking, interacting, is gonna be anywhere between 12 to 6 p.m. is gonna be my highlight zone. That is typically when I reserve those posting times, specifically when my audience is gonna be the most populated and the most engaged during those times. I do tailor all of my social media posts according to the analytics that I receive through social media. All right, we are now moving on to TikTok followers. So this is also gonna be a new account. This is only based on recent information. We currently have 558 followers on TikTok. I also have that QR code up there if you'd like to follow us and are not already. Now, the top views on our TikTok profiles are going to be, oh, sorry. You're welcome. Our top views on TikTok, again, you're gonna hear me echo a lot of these same things, are gonna be the changes to Taco Bell. So that one actually was one of our most popular posts. This is one of the first posts that really blew up on TikTok for me with a few hundred or a few thousand. That one's at 3,892 views. So again, these are not viewers. This is how many times someone has watched, shared, or showed it to someone, basically. The next one after that is going to be our announcement to the Ross, which is going to be our 2,308 or 2,300 views. And then another 2.3K views with our police department for one of their statements. Now again, these are some of our larger numbers on TikTok, but again, these are the highest posts that we're gonna receive, are gonna be notices in development within the city, as well as any safety announcements that the police department is making is gonna be our highest. You can also see that I included the analytics at the bottom of TikTok. TikTok also lets me know where they came from when they see my content. So I know if they just saw it come up on their For You page, which as you can see is that very long bar on each and every single one of those posts. I make sure to tag the city in every single post that I do, so anyone who is within the geographic area will automatically be linked because they're near our town. I also always use the same hashtags to create consistency within all of our posts. I try to post at the same times every single day so people get a reoccurring and then start getting notifications from the account as well. I try not to post too often at the same times to allow people to have spaces in between so they're not flooded by media, but I want to encourage and create consistent schedules in media so people know to expect announcements and news consistently from the city and know that it's reliable. All right, X is our last one. This is a tiny account. It's not really used that often. It's not a very popular account. So on this profile, all the way at the top, you can see we only have 4 followers on there. TikTok or X in general does not receive, I don't receive any notifications from it really, except local news that goes on there. But nonetheless, we still use the platform because platforms, just because they go through lows doesn't mean they don't go through highs as well. Facebook went through plenty of lows before it became high as well. So we want to again maintain that consistency so along all platforms, our residents know that they're receiving correct information and they can find it in more than one place. Now, some of the top posts that we have is going to be our welcome display our page on X, which is pinned to our page. It allows the links to the rest of our profile. So if you wanted to follow us on any other social medias, that is the announcement that's there. That's the most engagement, which is going to be 138 interactions. So whether they saw it, skipped over it, liked it, viewed it, or clicked on a link, that's where that number comes from. After that, we don't really get a lot of views from there. So after that, we're going to have our news from our Invoice Cloud. There's going to be an information flyer, which received 15 interactions. And then our next one is going to be the Department of Ross opening up, the department store. So that would be the next post that received the most, which is going to be 15 interactions. So as you can see, X is not really used that often, but nonetheless a platform that the city is still offering to residents in case they don't use those more mainstream profiles. Now, we're done with media. We are now talking about projects that I work with within my team and my establishment. The first one that I'm going to talk about is the police department. The police department we meet with quite frequently. We do monthly meetings, sometimes 2 times a month, depending on the material and the information that needs to go out. I listed just a few things on there. It's not everything that I do, but just upcoming projects and things that I am working on. So one of those is going to be a neighborhood watch. We did discuss those, and we are in the planning stages of those. We also have our safety communication. So this is, again, those press releases or just in general information that the public needs and making sure that everyone has access to that information. And then tangible media. So we are discussing things that people can take with them, keep in their homes, keep in their cars that have essential information, like our non-emergency line, helplines, anything tangible, even as something as simple as a coaster that you keep in your house, which has our non-emergency line, is something that could help residents to have access to these things that are tangible and not just things on social media that you can find. The fire department we also work with. We have Sound the Alarm coming up, so we do local events as well as mainstream things like our reindeer rounds that I help out with the fire department for. We also have a day in the life. This is a series that we want to start with our social media, and this is to introduce the public into what it's like to be a firefighter, a day in the life and a paramedic, and what they have to do. And it also is meant to expose outreach as well for people who are interested in our city. If we post things on social media about job opportunities and they see what it's like to live in our wonderful city, people will be tempted to come out here. Finance, we are currently working on our Invoice Cloud. The launch just happened this week. We did make updates to our web page. So we have a brand new face to the web page for that launching site, which introduces new payment methods and a new portal for our residents. Now, Public Works, we're doing all kinds of things with Public Works. We usually do information that goes out to inform the public, but currently we are working on our Clean Coalinga initiative. This is just to beautify Coalinga and to make sure our residents see and feel how beautiful Coalinga is. Our city projects that I'm currently working on is our website redesign. The whole website is going to get a facelift. But we're also working on our Wings Over West Side air show that is up and coming. We are very, very excited to put it together for all of our residents and to unite our community for a very fun event. Okay, that was all my talking. If you guys had any questions, I'm ready.
Council?
I do. There was a lot of stuff to cover.
I know.
But going back to the Facebook in the beginning, you mentioned that the notices that you put out weren't viewed. Like, is there any way that you can push those out so they kind of get viewed?
Yeah, definitely. So the process that I'm starting to do, which I started with Invoice Cloud, is I will post an announcement, and then the next day, the next morning, I'll post it on my story. I've explained a few times, I can catch people accidentally watching my story because people will just click on a story and it just automatically clicks to the next person and it just keeps going. And as soon as you run out of friends, that For You page comes Ride and Play for me, and it just automatically puts it out there because you're in my city, you're near me, or you might be friends with someone that follows me. So that's my effort in trying to get double exposure without posting the same thing over and over and over again, because people do get tired and then they will unfollow if it's just the same information.
Another one is there any way that you can put out QR codes across all of these platforms to encourage people to download the city app?
Yeah, definitely. QR codes are the up and thing now, really easy to go and click. I am including them a lot more on our, even our Watchfire, to include those QR codes so people who are walking past can do it really quick, or if they're stopping by the doctors and getting something to eat, they can go ahead and click those QR codes when they're walking to their cars. But all of our social media from this point on will include some form of QR code that makes it easy for our residents to access any information.
Right. And one last thing, how can all of this tie in together with a community calendar?
Absolutely. So currently I'm in works with Civic Plus. We do have mass messaging on Civic Plus where we can notify our residents based on whatever it is that they signed up for. The issue is that they do have to sign up for it. So I'm currently doing some research into Google Calendar to see if that is an option. Google Calendar does allow people to include those events or any suggestions into their direct personal calendar so that they receive notification. We can also attach links, invites to those things as well. There are some limitations to that. So there's limitations to how many invites we can send out, how many groups per category that we have in those. So I am researching those limitations to see if it is something that we can invest in, or if we're better off searching a platform that will do those mass messagings for us.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Looks like you're doing a lot of work.
You definitely got it covered. I just want to piggyback off the two exact things Mr. Schindler brought up. The QR codes, is there room on our billing to add those on a page of our bill? We get a flyer out, a slip that goes in the bill. I think just people not knowing city has accounts, I think would be a big improvement of letting everybody know to get their bill, right there with their phone, scan it, start following.
Mm-hmm.
We can look at that. I'm not sure, Mai, if we have the capability of adding like graphics to the bill, but we can definitely look into that.
I mean, like back page, a page or whatever, or even a slip, a printout slip, you throw it in there and process it on the bill.
Yeah, we've been talking, I think, as we do some changes in the process in finance, when we're signing up people for utility bills, we're trying to actually start working on when they fill out the applications, that we can actually get folks to automatically opt in to receiving, when it comes to especially the mass notifications. So those are important, not only on getting like important messages out, but also in emergency situations we can push out notifications to folks' cell phones in those circumstances. But we can look into adding some to the utility bill, but also we're trying to find ways to get people to opt in on our mass notifications too, with Civic Send. What was it?
Civic Plus.
Civic Plus, but so yeah, both we can look into.
Is the Civic Plus the same thing as the app? Is it all run on the same platform?
Yes.
So actually the app is My Civic. That's really Civic Plus is the company that runs our website, and then there's the mass notification program that they have under the Civic Plus platform. But My Civic is actually different than I think Civic Plus. I don't think it's owned by Civic Plus. It's separate. Yeah. Civic Ready is the mass notification, but that's through the company that basically hosts our website as well. But the app is through My Civic, which is actually through Tyler, right? Yeah, which is our finance software that we use.
So if they download the app, that's not how they're going to get notifications. It's
a separate platform, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're looking at ways to try to encourage people just to sign up for the Civic Ready, which is the mass notification. So we're actually looking at ways to try and get people to sign up that way. One could be through the utility bill sign up process, or just really pushing information out on our socials to get people to sign up.
Sorry about that.
Mai, did you have a comment to add?
I do. With the My Civic, we can actually put notifications out there. I don't think we're fully using it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just like to see just recurring post on the city app, continuously, since you're getting new followers back to back. I think it'd be great just to push that, and a lot of FaceTime that encourage everybody to download the app.
And it is on a lot of our posts. Any QR code you see really on a lot of the actual, I guess not printed material, but the visuals, it does say, you know, a lot of the QR code you're seeing is for the app. And it says visit the app. So we're trying to integrate that into a lot of our posts. Even if it's unrelated to the app, we're still using it as kind of a tagline. So we've been trying to incorporate that as much as we can in some of that, those posts as well.
Yeah, especially when you're getting the high rollers on the high traffic on the police reports and everything. You just blast that in there too. That way they can, you're getting a lot of viewers right there, especially at that time, 12 to 6 p.m. People.
And just having those QR codes at all points of contact, doors, walk in, you know, right here at we pay your bill while they're sitting and waiting, they can scan any other city properties that we have out there, just so people can get contact and follow it.
Absolutely.
So I just had a couple questions, actually more like comments, I guess. Echoing everybody else, the QR codes I think are going to be the biggest thing. If we could get like, you know, even all of our socials on, you know, the bottom tag line of putting the social, just a little picture and then the QR underneath so people can tag them. The information you've shown is great because this shows that there's a ton of room for growth. Facebook is continuously last in all social platforms, and the fact that it's first with us is amazing. That means that we have people between 40 and 60 on there. That's what that, because I do analytics for libraries, so I know these things too. So as soon as we blow it up, TikTok will absolutely be number one. It won't even be close. If we can get to TikTok, we can get to the people that are in between, I would say 15 and 60, because it's simple. They just go like this all day long. I watch it happen. I'm not a huge avid person on TikTok, but I did one video of a cat and it got 20 million views. One video of a cat, that's it. And then all the rest of my videos probably got 100,000, 200,000 views. So TikTok is huge and it's amazing. Like I said, it's not my go-to platform. I actually like Facebook beyond, but to see the numbers shows me that we have a lot of room for growth. And I think that's awesome because that means that a lot more people are going to be visiting our stuff, and probably utilizing TikTok and Instagram is going to be able to get our younger crowds. And then, so are we taking everything and like with Facebook, if you use the business publisher side, you can publish it to up to 3 different entities at the same time, including your own page. So just my personal opinion, I'd like to see that go out to Coalinga citizens, go out to citizens of Coalinga, and We Are Coalinga. All 3, those are the 3 largest groups in town that we have by population size, anywhere from 7,000 to 10,000 in each one of those groups. And you can do it all by just creating one business post and click, click, click. And then also another thing that I think would be cool is, and you may already have this done, is that you can set your Facebook to automatically post to Instagram. So that it automatically gets to Instagram. That way you can get the younger crowds. That being said, I'd also probably like to see, and I know that when our police and our fire and places, when they put out reports, that they're this large wall of text. And that's great for avid users that want to read into it. Unfortunately, that doesn't grab the majority of the people out there. A lot of people look at it and they just keep scrolling because they're not interested. So also following up that with smaller text and more picture graphics can get people into that. And then also what I'd like to make sure of is that when we're posting links, that those links, you cannot copy and paste link from a Facebook post to another Facebook post. It will garble it the way Facebook does it. It puts the ... dots in. So then when someone tries to click it, it goes to a dead link. So making sure that that our links are clickable. And here's another thing that I'd like to see is that, and I know for the library, since I do this for them, that we have to be ADA compliant. So also taking, and I know this is annoying, but taking that exact wording that's in the post that's showed on a picture and linking it underneath of the post, because those work for screen readers, they work for all kinds of different ADA things, making sure that that information, and then also for just to make sure that that information is going to be picked up, because sometimes Google and other places can read Facebook, but they sometimes can't read the picture. So you will actually get a lot of more views by putting the actual text, just copying and pasting the text underneath the picture, because then Google and other APIs, they'll read that text and they'll pick it up. So that's some other things that we can do. The council, I am totally on board with, we need to promote that app and then, promote the mass messaging. The mass messaging is something that we knew was a capability a long time ago, and I've signed up for all of them, and the only time I've ever gotten a mass message, in fact, it was just one time, and I'm kind of surprised about that. I'd like to see that feature used more, and maybe if we put a section under there called announcements, or something that's not just, because not everyone's going to want to know about certain things, but if you put something in there, like I have this for the library as well on their website, and what I did was I separated things out into things that people would be interested in, and I make them, and then they check those boxes on that. So then I start off with just a couple people, and now it's up to 50 and 60 people for a library. That's actually pretty good for people that want to be notified. So I think using that, the mass notifications would be huge, and making sure that in those mass notifications that we're linking all of our public profiles. And lastly, the city projects, some of the things that I'd like to see echoed, and I don't know who's willing to do this, but there's a difference in between a picture and there's a difference in between live. So if you take a picture of a street light and you say, hey, this is a street light, that's great. But if you rode down the street on a scooter and you are taking a video of those street lights in an area where they make a difference, that brings exposure to the city. I don't know who'd be willing to do that, but I myself have done that in the past, and the amount of exposure you get from a live video rather than just a still picture is huge. And so I'd like to see things like the city trails, the new street lights, the bike lanes, that type of stuff focused on, because that's where the taxpayers are spending their money. And especially things what the police are doing and the fire's doing, because as we get closer to Measure J, I think it's really important for the citizens to realize these type of things that we're doing. And I know that feels kind of weird for city employees to want to be on tape, and I don't know what the legalities are, but I can tell you it goes a long ways with engagement. Engagement is not looking at a picture. That's not engaging. That's one-way communication. Engaging would be people talking, people, out there, and then you're looking at it and you get a chuckle, you get a view. That's why TikTok is so famous. That's why it by far dominates all platforms, even though I'm not a huge fan of it. But these are just kind of some of the suggestions from someone who does this at the library and who does this in a business setting that I'd like to see at the city. And we can promote our community partners too, like the community garden. And QR codes are really easy to create, and just pumping them out everywhere I think will get all of the kind of stuff. And if we could put signs up, we got that big, huge sign that's out there, and I know it's difficult to figure out how can that content, because people tell me all the time that it's either too small to read or there's not enough on there. And I'm like, okay, well, they're working on it, right? You guys, they're working on trying to figure it out. But all that being said, I think you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
An excellent job in getting all this information out. And I can tell by people that I talk to that they are informed at a level that they haven't been informed at before. And so in some ways that's good. In some ways, like the clouds thing, people are a little bit unhappy that I've heard some comments that they now figure they have to, pay for the service that they were getting beforehand. But nonetheless, they're informed, which is the important part. And so I just want to thank you for all the work that you're doing, and thank Sean. You've made a great choice, and I just want to say I really appreciate it, and I think the council really appreciates it. Right? Yeah.
That's what it's doing, is searching, people type in something, it'll automatically link them to that, a Facebook post or whatever, to Kalinga or whatever. That's a great idea.
And I think some of the council members, myself, I would be interested in helping. I'm totally interested. If there's other members of the public, other members of the city that are interested, follow up with legal and finding out what we can do and we can't do. Yeah. But I think it'd be awesome because we could get people involved.
Yeah.
They don't do the TikTok thing.
Are you willing to take some questions from the public?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Sir, if you could just speak right into that microphone if it's possible.
I was hoping that she could flash the QR code for the Facebook one more time.
Yep,
So I can
absolutely.
get it.
Oh,
And is there a place inside the building where the QR codes are
we have our kiosk right outside where it should be posted.
Oh, okay.
But we also have the Watchfire, and it'll also have it up there.
Are you mirroring the QR codes like on TikTok? Are you posting, hey, we're on X, Facebook, Instagram also?
Yeah, we share it on all platforms.
Okay, I just tried to share like the city page on my own Facebook, and it just came up. The city of Coalinga didn't have any graphic posts, no anything. So sharing a page, that's why I think it's important to have the posts with everything, because you can pull that, put it in your story, put it on your post, make it more accessible. I mean, that's something I'm not versed in, so I would let
Absolutely.
you do it.
Let me see if it works. Nope, Robert can do it. And there's that Instagram.
You are gaining followers as we speak.
I know. It works. Was there any other questions?
Anybody on YouTube can.
Okay.
Yeah, so anyone that's on YouTube that's watching the meeting, take advantage. Scan them.
I think it's important just to have them at points in contact whenever people are involved in the city. Have your page laminated, stuck on a window. That's when you're going to get the most just hits.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much.
No, I appreciate it. And thank you for all the analytics, all the numbers and stuff like that, because when you come back and those numbers are tripled and quadrupled, that's going to be exciting too. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Everyone, let's give her a round of applause. All right, we are going to move on to item number 2.4, department updates.
All right, good evening, everyone. Updates from the fire department. Personnel-wise, we are one vacancy in the firefighter paramedic position. We have a candidate in backgrounds right now, has completed the backgrounds, moving on to the next phase, and probably should be on board in about a month and a half. And then that's in the fire division. And then on the EMS division, we're fully staffed. Apparatus update, no real change from last time. We're still expecting the 2 ambulances around the end of February, beginning of March, and the engine in August. Station projects, happy to report, and Mayor Vosberg and Mayor Pro Tem Schindler will understand the length of time this has taken, but the emergency generator for the station/EOC started Monday. So This was by the previous administration, and it's taken some time, but we finally got it accomplished. And I got to tell you what, this is one of the best things I've ever crossed off my to-do list. And then some public education events. Jasenia touched on it on two of them. The Sound the Alarm event, we are partnering with the Red Cross and the Gold Star Wellness Center for an event on Saturday, March 21st. We are going to be installing smoke detectors for residents that don't have any. So we want to make sure that everyone has smoke detectors and they're protected and they're safe. At our last open house in October, we established a list of residents that signed up to receive smoke detectors that didn't have any. We gave the list to Red Cross, and they're coordinating everything. It's actually a Red Cross event that we're going to be helping them with. And so we're looking forward to doing that. We'll have city staff, we'll have fire department staff, community members, and go out and take care of our community. And then yesterday, myself, my assistant, and 2 members of the Firefighters Association participated in the Alyssa Ann Rutsch Burn Foundation Burn Relay. What that is that's an event held every year where they start in Madera and they travel all over Fresno County. They stop at every fire department, Fresno, Clovis, Sanger, Selma, Kingsburg, Reedley, and the associations or the fire chief associations will present checks to Alyssa Ann Rutsch Burn Foundation, and then we add another engine to the Congo, and we drive on to the next city, and we just drive around and participate in that event, and all proceeds go to the Champ Camp at Wonder Valley Ranch to support burn victims. And so Kalinga Fire Department has been a part of this since about 2021. I think the year after I got here, we started doing it. So we did that yesterday, and then Jacinda touched on it, and the mayor brought it up, but we're way ahead of you on getting our social media together, and we've come up with an idea to do a day in the life of a firefighter video live. So that project's going to be starting pretty soon, so you'll start seeing our guys' pretty faces on social media, but they're going to, she's got a plan to like introduce them, say who they are, get to know me, you know, what I like to do hobby-wise, but what I do at the department, and then show some action shots. So we're already on it, getting that up and running. So that's all I have for our department updates, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from council?
No questions, just comment. I was able to go down and have a tour of the department and meet some of your staff, and I just want to say how much I was impressed with everybody down there. And they had nothing but good things to say about you, and it's really said a lot, and I was extremely impressed on how everything operates. Just the overall fire department itself, it was very cool. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's great to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, I as well went down there and visited with them, and yeah, I was impressed by the leadership, you know, that they all demonstrated, and what a great group of guys you have, and they really look up to you. So
Awesome.
yeah, that's great.
Thank you. That's good to hear.
Any other questions from council? No? Thank you so much, Chief.
Good evening. Well, I was going to talk about the press releases, but I do want to mention that, and I really appreciate Jasenia's, all the work she's been doing and putting that information out. But just on those press releases of those in custody, both the suspects live out of town. One owns Hanford and one and Avenel. So it's good to have investigators that are able to do some surveillance and make the arrest in Hanford. And it's great to have an investigator assigned to Magic that took the team over there to Avenel and did those arrest warrants, got guns and stuff like that. So the message that we're sending, that if you're going to come and victimize the residents of Kalinga, we're going to find you no matter where you're at. And so it's a good thing. So we're going to continue that. We had a really good month, and we ended the year last year great, and we started off with January. The month of January, we had only 5 victims compared to 20 last January. So that's a 75% decrease starting off the first month of the year. So that's great. But 4 of those of the 5 were assaults, and 3 were DVs, which was great because I did call this afternoon and talk to Tiffany Apodaca, the crisis manager from Margie Mason Center. So she's going to come and provide some in-service training to the sergeants on the 18th of our meeting this month. And we're going to follow up with having some training for all our officers, because our number 1 crime in our community is assaults, and about half of them are domestic violence. So we really need help with, like Margie Mason Centers, on the resources for the victims, along what can we do different that's going to help reduce the victimization among domestic violence. So that's going to be a big effort on our focus on our part, working with partnerships with Margie Mason. So just to let you know that. I also have a meeting this month on the 25th with the apartment managers. I have 25 on the list here at the council chamber at 1:30 in the afternoon to go over the issues that are occurring in the complex, how we could reduce victimization among the tenants, and then also talk about Neighborhood Watch too, to have apartment watch within their complexes. And in talking about Neighborhood Watch, I was a guest speaker at the Women's Club yesterday, so I actually did my first presentation on Neighborhood Watch, asking for their assistance and reaching out to maybe residents that are interested and give them information who they could call. So that's going on right now. We hosted all week, we've been hosting Dawson Elementary kids throughout the PD, and they love it. And I think we have another one this Friday. And I think there's 9 classes of second graders that are coming through. So anyway, it's been a fun thing with them, and that's it. I think we're starting off with a good month.
Any questions from council?
I have a comment, just the neighborhood watch deal. I've been seeing a lot more information coming out and hearing a lot of just talk about it. So I think the apartment complex idea is a great idea to really hone in on that. Yeah, so good stuff.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, I think the apartment complex thing, a nice captive audience that has an overview of a lot of people, is a great avenue and a great way for you to be able to talk, to people that are going to be able to pay attention and watch over a large crowds. And I think that's really innovative, and I appreciate that. That's awesome. Any further questions for the chief? Seeing none?
Hi, everyone. For the finance department, I'm just going to give a quick overview of the fiscal year 25-26 budget for just the general fund and the enterprise fund. The expected target revenue and expenditure at the end of January is at least 58%. That's what we target. However, for the general fund, the revenue is we've received $6 million year to date, and that's at 42% as budgeted. 42%. And then for the expenditure, it's $7.9 million at 48%. Usually we do receive our revenue more towards the second half of the fiscal year, so that's why it's a little low now. And then for the water fund, the revenue we've received to date is $5.6 million, which is about 31%. And then for the expenditure, it's about $6.6 million at 34% used. For the gas, revenue is $1.7 million at 53%. And for the expenditure is $1.4 million at 38% used. And for the enterprise sewer fund, it is revenue at 1.1, which is about 31%, and expenditures 1.1 at 26%. And then for sanitation, for revenue is 1.8 million at 67, and expenditures 1.5 at 57. So all in all, it's coming in great. We're below our expected target for both revenue and expenditure, except for sanitation at 67. Moving on to our audit for fiscal year 24-25, it's underway. If we do get it completed by the end of March, I will have to say that's a record for the city of Coalinga. We've always been very behind. So we're shooting for that. Staff is doing very well. And then the mid-year for 25-26, we are also on task to present that in in March. And then Jasenia did talk about Invoice Cloud. We did go live on February 4th. And that was thanks to everyone who's been involved with that project. It was a huge project for finance because of the impact that it has on the community. And I wanted to thank Christina and Yasmin for their outstanding work on getting this project implemented, and also thank Jasenia for her attentiveness and her experience and her way to lead us to present the information out to the public so that they can understand it. And so that they work very well together in implementing this project. As a reminder, that Invoice Cloud is the city's new payment platform for not only utilities, but also for like other city services. That includes like permits, solar permits, cannabis, business license, etc. We do have 3 locations to make these payments. However, finance will accept payments for any of these services. There's a unit over at PD, and that's specific to police citations. And then there's one at fire for fire services, for example, fire inspection fees for business license. So they will also be taking payments over there as well. So currently today, when a business is issued, before they are issued the business license, they have to get a fire inspection. And that fee, for that fee, they would have to come all the way back to the finance department to make a payment and then go to the fire department to go get, then they can go over there to get their permit upon making the payment at the city, at City Hall. So it's a lot of going back and forth. So with a unit over there, they don't have to come to City Hall to make that payment anymore. Just a quick reminder that if a customer has auto pay set up in the old system, they need to close that out and register with Invoice Cloud. We're not taking payments through the old portal anymore. Though we do have a grace period for those who are not always paying attention to the information that goes out, or if they're unable to get that information, we do want them to know that we're not taking payments through the old portal anymore. So they'll have to go through the city's webpage to access Invoice Cloud to make the payment and register for a new account. So that's all I have for finance.
Questions from council?
Yeah, I'd like to comment. Could we put that in the social media?
It is.
Oh, okay,
Yep,
great.
it's
You're on.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Thanks to
awesome. I think
Jasenia.
keep reposting that because a lot of payments missed.
Yes.
And is that information about the portal no longer functioning, distributed with the billing stuff? in it?
Yes, so we have information out to the public, letting them know that it's not available anymore. As a matter of fact, we've actually closed out those accounts. So if they try to make a payment, it won't work anymore, or try to log in, it won't work. And we have information to redirect them to the correct location. We do have QR codes. We're putting it on the Watchfire. Last month, we've actually inserted into their bills when we sent it out. And it's on social media. Jasenia knows exactly when to post it, so she's been posting it. And we are paying attention to some of the comments that are coming through in regards to questions that they may have. And when we see those questions, what we're doing is we're addressing it with another communication to them to address it. We're also making sure that we let them know that they don't have to pay online, that they can actually come on site and still pay for it if they want to. And there's many forms or many venues in regards to how they want to pay. They can pay by phone, they can pay by text, PayPal, they can pay with their bank through e-checks, and come on site, pay with their credit card. They can even call in to make their payment, etc. So there's many ways and many communications out there.
Yeah, that's great. That's communication is key. Yeah, and options is what people like.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I just had a comment. Maybe this is working with Jasenia on this as well. I've been hearing a lot of folks, amazingly enough, even folks that watch the council meetings, that are stunned that they're now having to pay, and they think that the city is benefiting from this. And I've been privately explaining to them that no, the city has always been paying the bill, and unfortunately, even people that didn't use those services were paying for that. You know, up to the tune of, I think, $330,000 a year that we were paying for those services. And so this is more of a way to make it a convenience, so that those that use it are paying the fee and not everybody else. And that practice is a solid practice, rather than saying, hey, you know, we're going to eat the fees for everybody, because that goes into rates. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. So if we're paying $300,000 in credit card fees, then that means all the rate payers are brunting that cost. Whereas if they're paying a fee for the convenience, and the idea that the city's ever taken in this money and benefited, it's never benefited the city. It's always benefited the banks and the payment processors. So that being said, I would like to see something that, everything that you just said, but I'd like to see a thing that says pay from your bank, no fee. Pay from, the different entities that there's no fee, because I keep hearing people saying that they're gonna have to pay a fee to pay the city. Walk in, no fee. Pay from your bank, no fee, right? They're like, and that's probably what I'll do. I mean, I used to use the credit card thing. But now that, I'm gonna have to pay for it, then I'll just use my bank. The money comes out immediately, and through my bank it does. And I know all banks are different, but if we could get that information out to the people that, hey, and I don't know how you do it, but I'm just saying, like, the misconception is the city's benefiting from this. I've heard multiple times, and I appreciate the fact that when you guys listen to something, that rather than responding, you just meet it with more information. That's a really good way of doing it. That way that you don't have a back and forth, and you can just meet it with more info. But I think that, I'd like for people to realize that, hey, and I don't know how you put this out in an easy, nice way, but the city has never benefited from this, from them. It actually was not a benefit, except for the fact that the idea was more people would pay their bills if we made it easier. But then understanding how much that cost was in the latter days, decision was made not to raise rates as extensively based on the fact that we could save costs on this. So I don't know how that gets put out, but I would love to see that information, that people could know that, hey, you can pay the city without a fee. That would, and beyond that though, the other question that I have is, you said that pretty much all of them were on target for, I heard, 36s and 38s on those numbers, but then the two numbers at the beginning, the revenue and the expenses that we haven't, those are low. Which ones are those?
So those are the actuals. So the target would be about 58%. So let's say if we operated based on our budget and it's like the same amount every single month, we would be at 58%. But based on the actual, we're actually under.
And so, but we're under on revenue and under on expenses.
Correct.
Correct? So it may look like, hey, we're lagging behind on revenue, but we're also lagging behind on expenses too.
Correct.
So are we still in a good position?
We are.
We are. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Any other questions from council?
Yeah, let me make a comment because there's every bank in any transaction that's paid with a credit card is going to get a fee, and they raised their fees this year. So and everybody's aware of that. Anytime you make any transaction with a credit card, you're going to get a fee except for EFT and ACH. So that's something that we probably need to explain, and they need to be aware of that. And I like that comment because that's, if we're going to pay that transactional fee to get made whole, that doesn't make any sense because we're resuming a lot of transactions throughout the course of the year. So I think that everybody should be aware of that very, very closely, so.
Yes.
Yeah, I think people need to understand that this is actually a cost-saving mechanism, not to ding every, I know that some people are gonna be paying like $3 or $4 per transaction if they choose to use that convenience, but this is a cost-saving mechanism across the board for all the ratepayers. And we took this into consideration when we talked about whether or not we were gonna raise rates 20%. And that, I remember Dan was sitting there doing the math, and we were like, okay, if we can save this money here and then push it onto convenience rather than onto the entire as a whole, it made better sense. So like I said, I don't know how you push that information out, but that, I think, and it's amazing because some of the folks that watch the meetings are even the ones that, I'm like, we're trying to do our best up here, guys, so.
Yes, there is well, I can't really say it's free, but there is no fee if you pay it through your bank.
Right.
Yeah, through e-check.
Right.
Yeah. And so.
All right, any other questions? Seeing none, appreciate it, Maya. Is that all department reports? All right. We're gonna move on to citizens' comments. This section of the agenda allows members of the public to address the city council on any item within the jurisdiction of the council. Members of the public, when recognized by the mayor, should come forward to the lectern, identify themselves, and use the microphone. Comments are normally limited to 3 minutes. In accordance with state open meeting laws, no action will be taken by the city council this evening, and all items will be referred to staff for a follow-up and a report. Citizens' comments submitting in writing to the city clerk by 5 p.m. on the day of the city council meeting shall be distributed to the city council and included in the record. However, they will not be read. And I also want to state that this is also the time and any time before this and during discussion, if you want to talk on a discussion item, please fill out a comment card. That way we can make sure you get a talk on the discussion items as well. And so we have public comment. Anyone like to speak? Chuck? No? Nothing? All right, here we go. We're going to move on to closed public comment. We're going to move on to public hearings, where we have none. Going to move on to number 5, the consent calendar, where we have 8 items. Would any council like to talk about any of the 8 items or get clarification?
Yeah, 5-5 for clarification.
You guys read it. That's why you're pulling 5-5. Gravy. All right. I guess I would just like some clarification on 5-8. And if no others, we'll move on to 5-5. Acceptance of the Measure C audit report for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024.
Maya, do you want to, or do you have a question on it? We could have.
On the program or the finances? Because this is the audit report.
Measure C?
Yes, the Measure, okay. So the Measure C program is something that Sean is more familiar with, but for the finances of the Measure C is the city receives fundings for Measure C, and it's for, we have 3 programs. One of them is for,
I can explain them. Are you looking just to understand the Measure C program or just the audit itself? So Measure C is the half-cent sales tax, or the 1 cent sales tax on half a cent for transportation-related activities. So it's basically, there's 3 different components. There's the flexible funding, which it gives us a lot of flexibility in terms of what we can actually fund in terms of transportation. There's the ADA compliance component, and then there's also the street maintenance component. So this is really where a lot of our projects come from. We primarily use Measure C for a lot of our grant matching, because a lot of the grants that we go after, federal grants, require at least 11 to 12% local match, and that's usually where we can bring that local match in, because we only receive so much in revenue every year. It's a county-wide measure, and it's all disseminated based on pro rata share, based on population. And so we receive our share, and we receive it annually. And so we really don't generate enough revenue annually to do like large projects. So a lot of times we'll be allocating funds, and as you see the budget, especially this year, this will be your first time seeing the formal budget. You'll see when we prepare the budget, you'll see a lot of like projects listed, both in the grant side and on the Measure C side. And the Measure C side a lot of times is that local match to allow us to be able to apply for the grants, because we have to come up with these grants, and we have to have a local match with it. And that's really where we can leverage the funds. And that's really when you hear about Measure C being talked about, is the amount of money that's spent is because we're able to utilize the measure to leverage the federal funds that come into the county, into the valley. So with Measure C, that's one of our primary sources, not only for the matches, but we'll do projects throughout the year, but more on the lower scale. Like a lot of these chip seal, slurry seal projects, that's a culmination of a few years of revenue in order for us to do one larger project. And so, but that's really where we use, that's where a lot of our street project money comes from, as well as the TDA funds that we have. And then we also have SB1 funds that passed about 8 years ago, which was the excise tax on the, at the pumps, because gas tax was starting to plummet because of vehicles being more fuel efficient. And so we see our revenues in gas tax going way down. And so SB1 was passed by the voters to try and backfill some of the loss in revenue, because as we know, we don't have enough money. There's not enough money in the state for the deficit we have and the amount of roads that need repaired. And so these measures are important to have, especially locally, for us to be able to fund these projects and leverage federal funds.
So I have a question with that. So that's based on the county sales tax receipts or the city's sales tax receipts?
It's countywide.
Countywide sales tax receipts.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
so each county, like if everyone spends locally here, and I don't want to encourage people to spend elsewhere, But it's based on countywide. But if you go buy a car somewhere else, or you spend money elsewhere, it goes into the large pot that we benefit from when it comes to, because it's 1 cent countywide. And then it's disseminated based on the way that they've created how they've spread out the funds, and a lot of it's based on population. Yes. Yep. And you'll hear a lot more about the renewal of Measure C coming soon.
Perfect, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, just some clarity maybe. At the end of this statement, it mentions during the audit there was 479,000 found that were not allowable.
That was
So what is that? Can you explain that?
Yeah, I'll let Mike clarify.
Okay.
So these are restricted funds. They're specific for, and the project has to be eligible for us to use the fundings for. And a couple years ago, we used the funds for the TTHM project. And there was a finding on it. And when that finding was found, we had to reimburse the Measure C back. And that's the finding that you're seeing. And so we did use water funds to reimburse the Measure C back.
So does that mean that we lose those funds?
No,
Or are they still available to
It was
be used
coded. It was just
otherwise?
coded
It's just
incorrectly.
coded wrong.
So it was supposed to come out of the water fund, actually part of the
Okay.
ARPA funds, because there was money that we were moving from ARPA to cover costs on the TTHM project. But it was merely just a coding error that that the auditors caught, and that was our auditors that caught it when we saw it before it actually goes to Measure C. But we have to show it. But it was just a coding issue, and that was
Okay, yeah, just curious, thank you.
Any other questions? All right. We're going to move on to item number 5.8. And I guess I just wanted clarity on how much is this going to cost us in perpetuity, like moving forward each year?
about $12,000.
About 12,000?
Yeah.
And I know that all public agencies are having to remedy PDFs, especially those that were scanned into the system, which has been my biggest problem because I like to search the agenda software, and when something was scanned in, like, it's not ADA compliant, and so actually I'm happy that they're actually working on this because it'll make it easier for us to search the agenda site. But that being said, that means that every time that we scan something in, it's going to be a remedy moving forward. So we need to make sure we don't do that.
I don't permit scanned documents.
Okay.
I don't want scanned documents uploaded to the website.
Okay.
We're wanting to, if we have a Word document, create it into a PDF, and then you have to make sure it's readable. But yeah, we're implementing that now moving forward. So Jasenia is doing kind of a deep dive into the website, and we'll be pulling a lot of documents off and making sure that and part of this will be updating. Part of this cost is actually going through and them updating those documents into readable PDFs. So we're going to be up to date when the website's launched with current documents. Granted, we'll probably find a few stragglers deep in the web somewhere, but we'll definitely continue to rectify those and make sure it's fully accessible.
And then as far as the chatbot integration that's into this, so you had said that you have Civic Plus for the website, and then is Chatbot a service from Civic Plus themselves, or is it
Yes.
another?
No, it's part of them.
And what is, just since it's on the page, what will Chatbot be able to do?
It'll be able to navigate the site for you, answer questions. So it's more of an AI feature rather than just a search feature. So it's beyond our how you can help. I thought I saw it on the site. It's already on live on the site, right? Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw it. I was looking at it, but I don't think I'm not seeing it. We'll have to check, but it should be. I've seen it pop up. But it'll basically answer general questions for you. So if you ask like, you know, how many days does a typical business license take to process, and that information's on the site, it'll answer the question for you rather than sending you to the page to read it.
Okay. And how much of the fee is for the chatbot itself?
It's on here, I think. You know, on this report, I don't have that. It's built into the, that's built into the $12,000, the annual renewal, because that includes the chatbot. Let me see if it's on the proposal. Looks like it's $1,000. Civic Plus chatbot, it's $6,300.
6,300?
Yeah.
And who annually for just the chatbot? And who are you guys going to work with them on coding the information, the answers to the
Yes.
questions?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be working with them. And as we update the website, we'll have a lot more information on the site to make sure that the chatbot can pull that data, pull that information. But I think you can actually push information to it that doesn't necessarily have to be on the site. Is that correct? Okay.
I train the AI bot, so if there's any outside sources that it needs, I feed it, and then it learns whatever websites that I plug into it. So if I want to attach Wikipedia, I could, it would be a bunch of stuff, but I would be able to link it, and the AI would work on those third-party sites as well.
Yeah, our zoning code, our municipal code will be attached to it, so it'll be able to answer a lot of questions related to zoning. But again, if it tells you you can build a shed and then we tell you no because it was wrong, then it's just Sonia's fault. So
So it'll be like a
But-
24/7 employee.
yeah,
Yeah,
works
I
on
mean,
Friday.
But I think
Right.
the training's important too, because it's only as good as what you're gonna train it with, right? When you're training the bot. So anything sort of compliance, police reports, domestic violence, you just throw that in there, teach it how to respond, X, Y, and Z. It responds.
Yeah.
Is there any research or anything out there about how much this type of technology is utilized right now? Like $6,000 is half the cost of this, over half.
I don't know. We could look
I
up.
mean, it's-
but
it's- that's-
I think it. I
Is the
think if,
value there for
I
this kind of
definitely feel the
investment?
value's there if you utilize the tool and make sure the tool's trained. It can save a lot of staff time.
So the staff could utilize it as well? as
No,
well?
for the public. So a lot of, I mean, just in general, in my old world in planning, I mean, if people had questions about setbacks for a property, or what's the maximum building height, or if I want to build a house at this location, or it will be able to give you a lot of general information that we get phone calls or emails about a lot.
So like, can you have a yard sale, like with a permit or need one? Would it answer that question for you?
It should be if you had,
exactly.
if they got coached that way, you know, if whatever she put in there.
With the municipal code being linked to it, it just very similar to what Jesse's using with the building plan checks. It's pulling California building code. It basically it's pulling a lot of the information to be able to create an answer for folks. And so as we continue to train it, I think it will surpass its value based on the amount of staff time that it can save.
So, question on that. So I do a lot of work with AI, and almost every one of them has a token limit. And after the token limit, it goes dumb on you. So is this something that's going to have a token limit as well? And what happens when it reaches that? Is this a stagnant fee, or do they start charging us more if more people use it?
No, it doesn't have an increasing fee to it. The way that it was explained to me is that my manager for the chat box is responsible for all the updates and any
You want to grab the mic? Thanks.
Can we get her a seat up here sometime? Great.
So if the chatbot were to ever go down, experience any mistakes, stop working, it's outside of our hands. It would automatically get fixed by our account managers. If I run into any issues, if I can't train the bot on something, they would be able to assist me with it. So it really shouldn't receive any stagnant or stop working at any point because there's always a manager ahead of it and making sure that it's functioning.
Okay, thank you so much. Any other questions from council? No?
Yeah, so this is just one annual fee, right? It's an annual subscription that we're in.
Yeah, so we can analyze it each year. And just to be clear on this, you guys have already approved the chatbot.
Yeah, we talked about it this last.
This item is just basically adding the, a additional cost that was not included on a contract, just saying. But yes, it's annual, so if we see, and we're gonna continue to look at it too. I think there's even probably some analytics built into Civic Plus that allow us to see how much it's being used, to see if it's worth continuing, or what things we can do to improve it.
Well, the analytics that somebody else can take advantage of too. That's a big.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? Seeing none, would anyone like to make a motion to pass the consent calendar?
I motion.
It's been moved.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Consent calendar passes as written. We're going to move on to item number 6, ordinance presentation, discussion, and potential action items. 6.1 is going to be moved to a different meeting. So we're going to move on to item number 6.2, which is discussion and potential action related to city authority and options for abatement and lien placement on fire damaged properties.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I was going to put this on information and consent, but I think we do want some direction from you related to some of this, but we also want to provide you some feedback based on the mayor's request to the city attorney at the last meeting about when's the soonest we can act on abatement or potential fines for fire damaged properties. And in reviewing and talking with the city attorney, the current process that we have in place, which is under Chapter 6, Title 7 of the Municipal Code, which I've kind of spelled out in the existing abatement authority in the discussion section, is basically the quickest we can act in terms of giving proper due process to folks that have had a fire at their home. In terms of, we also wanted to identify that there are emergency conditions that we can take immediate action for public health and safety. That's, boarding up, or if we need to do fencing around the property. Those are things that we can take immediate action on if the property owner isn't taking care of those those issues of public health and safety. So we can do that, but we also want to be clear that we cannot just go and automatically start abating the property, or we got to give due process for them to actually act and fix the issue. But we also did provide a copy of a summary ordinance that allows us to move quicker in these emergency situations. So we really don't have any kind of regulations in place that allows us the authority to go and board up houses. Typically, that's done by, if it's not done within a certain period of time, I'd let the owners know, say, hey, you need to board the property up, you need to properly secure the property, or we're gonna have to come out and do it. This, we put a draft ordinance, not a draft ordinance, but we provided Carlsbad's ordinance that would allow us a little bit more authority to act on these quicker when there's major public health and safety issues, where properties are exposed or unsafe in unsafe conditions. And so it allows us to act on those quicker. So the direction tonight is kind of requesting the council, are you wanting us to move forward with updating our ordinance or including this emergency ordinance to allow us to act quicker? It doesn't allow us to demo a house or do anything related to the abatement of the property, but at least it gives us that additional authority that kind of we were unaware of at the beginning to address public health and safety issues immediately rather than having these things kind of go on for weeks at a time. So we can do that. I know that, we're getting more and more familiar with the process of addressing these properties. And so I think that we're hitting these pretty hard and heavy right now, and we're starting to see some progress with a lot of the properties. And so I think with our current ordinance the way it is, and going through some of these processes over the years, we're finding the most efficient way to address these properties using our current code. But if the council is comfortable, we can proceed forward with at least coming back with a summary abatement ordinance that will allow us to act on some of these emergency situations and public health and safety issues.
So you're saying that you feel like the current code is working, or you've learned how to work it.
Yeah, I think we've learned a lot through the process, and then also bringing in some expertise from Jesse's experience and working through. That's why I actually, as part of the consent calendar, you guys introduced and waived the first reading of the building code. It also included the abatement of dangerous buildings to allow us additional authority to abate these properties. So it gives us extra teeth in the California code to be able to implement these as well by adopting that by reference beyond just the regular typical building codes. So no, we see a path to be able to address these a lot sooner and stay on top of them.
So I don't see any reason to make any changes until something's been identified as a problem.
Yeah, so the
Unless,
only recommendation, and it's not necessarily a recommendation, it's an alternative, is the summary abatement ordinance is really to address the immediate threat, immediate public health and safety issues. It allows us the ability, and you maybe can explain a little bit more, what this would do compared to what we currently can do when it comes to immediate public health and safety issues, not the long-term remediation of a burnt property.
But with the time restraint, where's the liability lie on that?
So for example, if a building were to catch on fire, a house were to catch on fire, you can go in and board up the property and remediate the issues that pose a health and safety risk. But you can't, destroy the property. You have to give proper due process. And obviously, after you remediate that emergency situation, there still has to be a hearing before the city council to confirm that in fact was an emergency situation and that the costs that were expended to remediate that situation were in fact under emergency circumstances.
Well, so my thing is with this is that I think this summary abatement does do that. What I've seen so far is that we've had these fires that have ravaged these houses. No one's been interested in fixing them or making them safe at all. They just sit there until the city gets on them. And my thought with that is that if we force the process as quickly as humanly possible, they're going to know this is serious. If we put boards on their windows, if we bill them for it as soon as, we can bill them for this, right? Correct. Then they're going to know, hey, I better get on this or I'm just going to continuously getting billed from the city. I think it shows the sense of urgency for it. I understand if we can't do the other stuff, then, we don't want to change something and try and do something that's outside the scope of the law, right? But I do like this, if we could bring back some kind of abatement summary like this, because it does give us, I think, more teeth into it. This isn't exactly what I was looking for, but after reading it, I like a lot of it in there because I think it meets the scope of public safety, and I think that it will add some urgency. That's just my opinion, though. Sorry for jumping in. The council can talk about this ahead of time.
Yeah, no, I'm not against it either. I just, he mentioned that they were working with the current, and it looked like that it was working. So why make any changes until we know we need them?
Yeah, we're not recommending any changes to our abatement process. This is just for immediate. There's two different components. There's one when the fire initially occurs, and we have a health and safety issue or a nuisance because property's wide open. It could be unsafe. Windows are open, broken glass. Doors are wide open, people can go and there's still personal property inside these homes. So if there's that kind of issue, sometimes we see a lag on that immediate. That's an immediate issue that we have to address like within, 24, 48 hours. That's something we notify the owner right away. I think even fire talks to them about that immediately. And so that's what we're really talking about is that immediate action we have to take. It's not about the long-term drawn-out process that we've seen in the past. That's just us tightening our current code, which will work. We can't really change that because we have to give due process, but there are instances where we can address public health and safety immediately, and that's really the boarding up or fencing the property, those types of things.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to add to that too, because I think that shows a sense of urgency and protection for our citizens right away, that we're actually taking an approach and we're doing it a due diligent way and manner and executing very quickly. And like Sean said, I do agree it's not like a long-term deal, but it's a short-term cure for safety.
It's essentially just an extra tool in our tool belt.
Yeah, because it's not going to address the real issue, which is burnt houses sitting there that no one can afford to tear down and throw away because it's a hazmat, right?
But, you know, another, you know, just piggybacking off that, I can sense like, okay, it's boarded up. I don't have to do much.
Right.
That's another issue that lies between seeing that right away take effect. Like, okay, the city just fenced me off, boarded me up. I'll take my time.
So how long does it take for us to send them that bill? Takes a hearing?
Yeah, so you once the work is done, then you have to give them 15 days notice of the hearing, and then after that, you can bill them.
I'm fine with that. We are going to reach out ahead of time and try and get them to do it though, right?
Yes.
That's the first step.
Yes.
First step.
Yeah, go ahead, Chief.
Just so you guys know, we advise the homeowner immediately after the incident and when we turn it back over to them that they are responsible for boarding up their property and making it safe. Whether they do it or not, that's up to them, and we have no authority over that. So I agree with this summary abatement because that'll give us the authority to be able to do something about these hazards that are deemed as a safety hazard to the public. So that's...
Chief, when you notify them that they need to do that, do you give them any kind of guidance? Like, is there any kind of?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we tell them, we give them, so we can't like, you know, give advice or like recommend anyone because, you know, there's multiple companies out there. So we tell them that you need to look for a company that does board up of fire damaged properties. There's 2 or 3 in the Fresno area, a couple in the Visalia area. And we say, you know, call these people, you need to get it done, and you need to get it done within the next 48 hours. So we tell them all this stuff prior to us turning the home, because once we're done mitigating the incident, we would need a warrant to go back on the property. And so we turn it back over to the homeowner. It's now their responsibility. Unless it's an arson. Arson's different. But at that point, it's not our responsibility anymore. We can't just go back onto the property and do things. So we advise them the steps to take. We give them our business card, who the investigator is, my card, et cetera, and they have all the information prior to us leaving scene. So what we see though is nobody does anything. And then we're handcuffed because we can't do anything after that point until we go through the entire abatement process, which we all know is there a lot of red tape and stuff to go through to get that accomplished. So I really like this summary abatement.
What kind of follow-up on a property, like a commercial property that has burnt, even though they clean it up and the structure is possibly deemed unsafe, sitting in town indefinitely, burnt, unsafe, huge commercial buildings? What kind of follow-up do we do after that?
That's the same. It's the same thing for residential or commercial as it is for residential. It's still the same process that we have to go through, get city approval, go through the court process, get the permit get the approval from the courts, and start the abatement process there and put a lien on the properties and stuff like that. So,
Are we actively doing that?
oh yeah. So we have 2 properties that we're currently working on that have taken over a year to get this done, and most of the tie-up has been in court.
We have quite a big one sitting in town that's previously burnt, sitting, commercial property. Just wanted to know, just like the follow-up, like, I mean, if it's sitting there.
Yeah, we'll talk afterwards and you can give me the address and
Yeah.
location. Because I only know of 2 residential right now that we're actually going through the abatement process with.
Should be a little more compassion. You know, they lost everything, lost their home. I don't think we need to hit them right away. Information is important, but I think there definitely needs to be some kind of time period. That's okay. Just wanted to know the follow-up is mostly what I was interested in.
And then just to ask, reading this, and this is, I was going to ask a question about this, but I think this does show, it says it's a nuisance, right? So this doesn't only apply to fire, because about 2 or 3 months ago, maybe even 4 months ago, I had a lady call on the phone and said that there was a fence that was blown down, little kids play in the backyard, and she was worried that they were going to go and fall into the pool. Now, amazingly enough, the city figured out how to make something happen to secure that area. But this is a scenario that could fall into that, correct? Where you have an imminent threat something bad happening to little children, and this could work in that scenario as well, correct?
Yeah, that's called an attractive nuisance. It's basically where, children or unsophisticated people can be attracted to a nuisance, essentially.
And when I did report this, I was explained to that we didn't have a process to go through this, so this might give us the tools that we need to aid into that as well. I'd like to recommend that we bring back something for us to look at and approve if the council would be okay with that. Do you just need direction, or do you need a formal vote? Direction.
That's good, yeah.
You guys okay with that?
Yes, we can bring something back.
And is there anything you guys would like to add to further direction?
Just a actual timeline, exactly date, how much time we're doing, like you said, 15-day notice. They're on site, but just kind of so we know exactly what we're looking at. And even long-term, when somebody just is pushing back and saying, no, we're not going to do anything, put their hands down, get off my property, what kind of acts are we going to take after that?
We'll summarize it for you when we bring it back.
Any other discussion? All right. We are going to move on to council discussion and potential action related to reassessing committees.
All right. This was just, staff doesn't have any recommendations. This is just a future agenda item requested by Mayor Vosberg, just to discuss the city established committees by filling the current vacancies, just due to the recent resignations of previous council members. So we do have 2 vacancies in the Public Safety, City Beautification, Code Enforcement, Animal Control Committee. And then we also have 1 vacancy in the Ad Hoc Airport Committee. So with that, I'll leave it to you, Mayor, if you'd like to have the discussion and fill those vacancies.
So we just want to make sure that we have people on these committees. How often does the Public Safety Committee meet, Chief?
The Chief Advisory Board meets quarterly.
Quarterly.
And if you recall that we assumed all those different committees into mine because it's just made a lot of sense. We've had some really good turnouts, and we had both former council members that are on it, were on it before, and then Councilman Schindler started to attend those meetings. So I'd like to have another member on that.
Okay. So that being said, it looks like there's 2 vacancies on there right now, and we can't have 3 council members, so we would fill it with 2, correct?
Correct.
And then on the Airport Ad Hoc Committee, this is really one that we can only have 2 members on as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that being said, maybe you can just give a brief of what the Chief's Advisory does, and then maybe Sean can give a brief on the Airport Ad Hoc.
Sure. Chief Advisory Board is usually, a lot of police agencies have them, the chiefs have them. It's a makeup of the community, from the business to education, from residential, and represented from the districts, the council districts, for the purpose of bringing them together, discuss any issues or concerns, or kind of like tell the chief what he really doesn't want to hear, anything we're doing wrong, how could we improve. So it's a big trust builder in these meetings. So that's the whole purpose of the Chief Advisory Board, to be able to listen to the concerns of the public.
And you have a pretty good turnout on those, huh?
A great turnout. We had the assistant city manager there at the last meeting, and he was very busy in explaining a lot of the public works and what's going on, which was great to have him there.
And what time are these meetings usually at?
At 5 o'clock, and a Wednesday, usually it's on a Wednesday.
So 5 o'clock on Wednesdays?
Yes.
And quarterly?
Quarterly.
Okay. And then on the airport?
The ad hoc committee, I don't think they've met, but it's basically at the request of the other
members?
councils. Yeah, similar to kind of the recent ad hoc committee that was recently put together. So if there's particular items that the council members would want to talk about, that would be when it's brought before to staff.
Okay. So let's work with the public safety, I guess, first. We need 2 folks that would be interested in serving on the public safety. It's quarterly, Wednesdays, 5 o'clock.
I'm currently interested, but I'd give up my spot if you guys both wanted to.
So you could, yes, we could, you could be on the airport and on the, and on the chief's advisory if you are interested in doing that. In fact, we can talk about them both at the same time. We don't have to do one and the other. If just, what's your interest?
Because I have involvement with the rally for us.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to stay involved with the airport.
Okay.
But I just want to give opportunity to anybody else.
And are you also interested in staying on the airport?
I am.
You are? So would we be okay if those two took on the airport? Are you interested in the airport?
No, that's okay.
That's fine? Okay, so we could appoint,
So Roger's already on the airport, and then we can appoint Jeremy to the.
you okay with
guys
that?
can put
Yeah?
Jeremy on the airport too.
And we're just giving direction, right?
Well, if you're appointing, you need a motion in a second.
Okay, well, I motion that we add Jeremy to the.
I second.
Okay, and it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, now let's work on the Chiefs Advisory. We need 2 members, and I think Mayor Pro Tem has already stated he wants to do it.
I am interested, but like I said, I would step aside if you two were both interested in that.
Well, you're interested? No. I'm interested. Yeah, I'll be there. You count on me.
It's up to you guys. What do you want to do? Okay, someone make a motion on what they would like to see.
I'll motion Mr. Arroyo to join the public safety.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Seeing none, Arroyo is on the public safety, and then we have one more as well. One more person. Is it going to be Mr. Schindler or?
Still on it, right?
No. No, he wants to be on it. He wants to be on it, but we're going to add another person between you and him because I'm already doing COG and a bunch of other things. So, not that this is not important. It's extremely important. But we want to make sure everyone's involved.
If you show interest, then.
Okay?
I motion for Mr. Schindler to be part of public safety.
I will second. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Seeing none, welcome to those committees. Appreciate the work from all of you on that. So thank you so much. We're going to move to item number 4, discussion and potential direction related to the 2026 4th of July celebration event. Future agenda item, Mayor Pro Tem Schindler.
Did you want to?
So anyway, the reason I asked for this is because one of the things I hear probably the most about the 4th of July celebration is it's not on 4th of July. It's a week before or 3 days before. I hear it a lot.
Discount.
Yeah, whatever the reason. And, so that leaves people to blow up big fireworks and everything on the real 4th of July instead of go see a show. So I propose that because it's the 250th anniversary and it's on a Saturday, I think we'd get good attendance, that we move it to the 4th this year.
So are you just proposing for this year and then we'll decide moving
Yeah,
forward
we
next?
We could revisit it every
Yeah,
year. if
we could
you-
revisit it then?
Doesn't matter to me.
All right.
but Yeah.
Okay. Council?
Yes, but I think the 4th of July should be celebrated on the 4th of July moving forward.
Yeah.
Always. I think it's very important. I think it's should be part of our city.
I agree. We could revisit it or not.
So my only thing with I agree with you. I look at the logistics behind it being on a weekend or whether it's not on a weekend, which is why I would just like to revisit it. But I am absolutely in the same idea that, hey, I want to celebrate it. And then also the other reason is because we never, we have a good idea of where our budget is, but I always want to look at like the cost of how much more is it going to be, because sometimes it can be a lot more. And then, that's just my comment on
Well,
it.
that may be the next step, I would guess, right? Is looking at the cost difference
So-
and even if it's possible.
So yeah, that's
Right.
a couple things. So we've already done a little bit of research. The cost for this year on June 27th is going to be roughly $30,000. We don't know what it's going to be for the 4th of July because the couple of vendors we've talked to are already booked on the 4th of July. So they said they've already had to turn a lot of clients away because of the interest on the 4th. So Shannon's already been kind of reaching out to other vendors to see if we can even get fireworks on the 4th of July. So that's going to be one hurdle. Also, it's not necessarily always an event that the city puts on. So what I would recommend is if the direction from council is to talk with the Parks District, whether I think there's been some discussion with the chamber about this, that we can engage that desire to have it on the 4th, and we can work through some of the logistics and see if that's something that we can move forward with.
Well, I think we have a couple members of the Park and Rec here. Just here to listen. Do you have any comments or anything that you'd like to share? Feel free.
You have to use the microphone if you're going to talk.
Sorry to put you on the spot. I've seen you here, and you guys have been here the whole. I was actually going to move the item up because I knew that. Yeah. So feel free. Tell us what you feel like.
So budget-wise for us, it'll just be a little bit difficult to do holiday pay. I mean, as most of you guys know, the Park and Rec District is incredibly minimal. We have absolutely zero in there for overtime and holiday pay. So trying to get our employees to work on that day is going to be very difficult. Not only that, but July, our entire recreation staff is at Cambria for summer camp. So that might be a little bit difficult. I can pull back one of my coordinators, but I do need the rest of them to remain at camp. But we are willing to work with you guys and see what you guys want to do. I mean, the fireworks is the biggest part of the event. So I guess the biggest thing for us is we would need to know as soon as possible because we are doing a new partnership with CYB this year for baseball. And we were planning on hosting a 9U, 10U, and 11U tournament at the 4th of July event. So they need to get that out ASAP because these other tournaments are going to start posting and they won't be able to get the teams because they're going to go other places. So as soon as you guys know, we would like to know so we can kind of figure out where to go from here.
So if we were able to get some volunteers, maybe like the Helping Hands program or the chamber to get some volunteers as well, would the Park and Rec be able to help and direct them?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's not impossible. We can definitely figure something out. It's just going to have to be a partnership between everybody. But we can absolutely figure something out.
Okay.
Yeah, I already spoke with Scott at the chamber, and he was definitely willing to participate, so.
That's actually how we heard about it first, so that's how I knew to come.
Well, I mean, this is, the city wants to work with all of the stakeholders and all of our partners, and maybe this is a good opportunity. I mean, like Sean said, we don't know if we're going to be able to get somebody. Maybe we put the rush on. I know our assistant has been out this week.
Yeah, she's been out. So
Right.
next week we can keep pushing.
We can push this and try and find out and get you guys an answer
That would be
soon.
awesome.
That way that we know, but just as direction from council to push it this year for the 4th of July.
Correct.
Yeah, and then also in the further years, looking forward to doing on 4th of July as well, if it's within the budget and it makes sense. Because I think, I'm in favor of that, but I just want to make sure that, and also we have to work with our partners and make sure that, that they're available too, but. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, and did you have anything else to add? No? Well, we appreciate you coming to the meeting, and I appreciate you sitting through a lot of that
Absolutely.
stuff. Thank you so much.
He always puts my stuff last.
Hey, thank you. So we have direction? Yeah. You have direction?
Yeah.
We need a
we'll
vote or
start-
just direction? Okay,
Yeah, we'll start working with them and then we'll just keep you guys updated. I'll keep you updated on Monday updates too.
all right.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move on to number 7, which is announcements. City manager's announcements?
I have one, but I don't know if the mayor was planning on talking about it, but we have the chamber dinner coming up on Saturday. So, Saturday at 6 o'clock, at Kalinga College. So, don't forget, hold on to your tickets.
All right.
That's all I have.
Council members' announcements and reports?
I have none.
All right. And city treasurer's announcements?
No, nothing.
Okay, mayor's announcements. I just want to encourage, the community to give the city some time, and we're looking at these type of things with like the fee structure of the invoice cloud and things of that nature. I know the city's doing a lot of things really well right now. The police and fire have got out there and talked to the residents. We have Jasenia, out there doing her marketing for the city. We have everyone working together, and I really like it. I mean, we had the Park and Rec here tonight. I know the Planning Commission is doing their best to bring things in and to talk about when, is Jesse leading the Planning Commission now, or are you?
He will be leading his officially first one next week. Well, I'm going to be at a conference next week, but he'll be running the commission tomorrow, and that's kind of the plan moving forward.
Excellent.
Yep.
Well, and then, do we have the information on the car show, or the SCCA? Maybe you want to.
Actually, yeah. I'm gonna visit Saturday morning. Go take part in it, get some information, lots of pictures for you guys. I don't know if you saw emails or anybody else has time. Audrey is definitely willing to fit you in. Anybody wants to show up, bring somebody. I'm taking my wife. They're gonna get her in a car. So should be fun. I'll report back. I'll take lots of pictures, some videos, and go from there. But if you're interested, I don't think Abel was here for the time when we all signed up. So
I've been putting them in the Monday updates.
Yeah.
It's been, so there should be a link for you guys to be able to register.
and it's super
too.
easy.
Yep.
You just literally send her an email. She'll get you in. Wear shoes. She got a helmet for you. It's all good.
Great. I will absolutely try to attend. The chamber dinner that night is at 6. And what time is the event?
They start racing at 9.
Okay.
I'm probably only gonna stay an hour or two because I got to get back, get ready, do all that good stuff. So,
Okay.
show up, get there, and see what it's about. And excited about it. Should be
I will
cool.
do my best to attend too. I think this is a great opportunity for Kalinga.
I agree.
And I appreciate it. You do bring pictures and stuff back for us, so. Yeah, videos, live.
Videos.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Content,
That'd be
social media.
awesome. All right, we're gonna move on to future agenda items. Anyone have a future agenda item? That would be anything that you want to have, put staff to work on, or something, a vision that you have for the future?
I don't necessarily it's a future agenda. I talked to Sean already about vegetation overgrowth in the city, taking care of it. Nice and green and pretty now. Later, a fire hazard in our empty properties. I want it to be addressed. It looks ugly. Sidewalks are overgrown. So I just want it to be a point. I want to hit it hard. And if we got to make January our vegetation month to attack it, it's going to come back. It's always a problem. So just that.
Any other future agenda items? No? And just so you're aware, you can also email the future agenda items as well if you think of something. Sometimes it's best to put them in about 10 days in advance before the next meeting. Sometimes you reach out to staff if they think it's urgent, they can move it up, or if they think they need more time, they may have to push it back. That being said, we're going to move into closed session. It looks like we have 2 items. Conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Government Code 54956.9 D1, Alexis A. versus City of Kalinga, et al., Fresno County Superior Court Case 26CE-CG00196, and conference with labor negotiators, Government Code 54957.6, City Negotiator, City Manager Sean Brewer, and City Attorney Mario Zamora, Employee Organizations, General Employees, and Kalinga Police Officers Association. That being said, this portion of the meeting is over. Do we look at reporting out?
No, Mayor.
Nope. And if there is something to report, we'll come back. Thank you much.